Genesis Owusu is an artist who has come completely out of nowhere with this new album here. I'm not going to beat around the bush, guys. I'm just going to come and say that out of all the albums I've heard this year, this is currently my favorite because it's fucking great. Usually I do like some kind of 1 minute spiel, as you guys know, maybe an introduction to the artist, maybe some kind of background, not too long, but a little bit. But I'm just going to skip that because I just want to emphasize how great this is. And considering how he's an up-and-coming artist, I feel like just going straight into talking about how good the music bloody is will do more good for him than anything else. This is an album that displays an artist's huge amounts of versatility right out the bat, right out the gate, right from the get-go, whatever cliche you want to use, because he is showing us a lot of different styles on this album. He is dabbling in and out of all kinds of different things, and he's making everything sound so good. The way a debut album has Black Dogs and Waitin on You on the same album and doesn't feel weird or out of place or wrong or anything that's bad is a great thing, because these two tracks are like completely different worlds apart in terms of their style. And the way he blends in his falsetto throughout this album, the way he brings in the soulfulness and also has this angsty punk attitude to some of these tracks too, just makes for such a great varied listen. I love an album that can go from style to different things, and it just all feels in the same world, all feels concise, and nothing feels out of place. This is why this album's doing so well for me, because you're just getting something different with every song. And that's a skill, that's a hard thing to achieve. I mean, I was saying with the Gorillaz album that came out last year, they weren't able to do it, and Jesus Christ, Gorillaz have been around for how long now? Genesis is nailing it on his debut. There are tracks that have really off-kilter rhythms, like the other Black Dog. There's lots of references to Black Dog throughout this album. The instrumental sounds so weird. It sounds like you're going through like the Haunted Mansion in a Mario game, or you know, the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and there's a Haunted Mansion level, and then like the sort of like floorboards are going all over the place, it goes upside down and all that kind of shit. It feels like you're traveling through that with this, because it sounds really oddly psychedelic, and the instrumental is really like unnerving. It's weird, but it's such a great rhythm to it, and it's so bouncy. It's like da-dun, da-dun, ba-bow, ba-bow. And the way his vocals flow over the beat on the chorus too, with like the sky, yeah, oh, he sounds so great. He's got so much charisma on this track and across all of these tracks. And he's just such an infectious personality. I'd love to hear him just like talk random stuff, because I feel like he'd be a really fun guy to sit down and chat with. Hey, look, mate, interview. I didn't even mean to like interject with an interview, but if you're watching this, I would love to do an interview with you. Centerfold tries carrying that on as well. I will say this is probably my least favorite, just because it does a similar thing with like the really off-kilter, quirky rhythm to it, but it just sounds slightly out of place. I can't quite place what it is, but this track doesn't quite sink in with me as rest as some of the other ones do. But even still, his falsetto on the chorus, he sounds great here. So like, even when, you know, there's a track that might not be as good as the other track or something like that, he's bringing something to the table that sounds great, and it's usually his vocal performance. Waiting on You though, it's just such a great tune. It sounds like something Thundercat would do in his sleep. I've been waiting on you. I've been waiting on you. Oh, that's so catchy, so good. The little like weird spoken word bits as well, where it's like every day's a holiday if you can't tell the time. It just reminds me of something like Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords would do on one of his tracks, or one of the tracks from Flight of the Conchords. Just a kind of like really weird, like sensual thing that they do, but they're just saying really stupid stuff. This is exactly like that. Don't Need You is a funk jam. Once again, you're just getting this versatility with the instrumentals. On some of these tracks as well, he's like almost rapping as well in places. Like, he's not rapping, but the flow, the speediness to his delivery, it was really borderlining on that at points, and I think that's what's making this album so good. He's just dabbling in and out of all kinds of different things in the way that Gene Dawson was last year with his album, which was fantastic too, Pixel Bath. Like, these two albums kind of coexist in the same universe of this modern era of artists that just have so many different influences that they're pulling from, and they're making it work. And man, Genesis is just killing it. Drown is a fantastic rock tune. I want to call this a rock tune, man. It just really exuberates such a classic energy to it. I think the chorus is fantastic. The drum rhythm is great. It is so catchy. It even reminds me of points of like something Springsteen would have done back in his best days. Then you got Black Dogs, which is a punk rager. It just does not overstay its welcome at all. It gets the job done in a really short runtime. I honestly think it could run on longer because it's that good, but even still, as what it is, it's a great track. And then lyrically, you've got some interesting commentary on tracks like Whipcracker, where he's calling out neo-Nazis. It's quite interesting to hear a direct reference to something like that in a song. It's not like it's the only time I've ever heard it, but I think when you go on social media and you're scrolling through Twitter or even other sites, Facebook, whatever, you always see mentions of things like neo-Nazis and the rise of the far right and all kinds of different political angles that you're always seeing get brought up on social media, and it sometimes is a bit extreme, and sometimes you're just like it's flooding you, and you're just like wow, it was just so much to take in. And it's quite interesting to just hear a track like this that's done in such a calm and collected way, and yet he's talking about how like people have like 1950s mindsets. He's talking about people that abuse women. Like, he has a really interesting approach to take with this track, and it kind of works. He talks about spitting on the graves as well. Like, he does it in a way that's just so like conversational. Like, we're just going to sit down and have a chat. And while he's saying some really like bold things, he doesn't really come across like he's kind of like shouting at you or anything like that. He's just saying it as it is, and I think his delivery really works. I love the track Easy because it has such a great prominent guitar on it. It reminds me of like the starry-eyedness of what that Eve's Tomb album was doing last year, just bringing those classic elements from older time periods and just making them work, and, you know, inserting them in your own album while keeping true to yourself and just making it work. That's what I like. It doesn't sound at any point like he's you know, copying his influences. He's just bringing it all in and making it work. It's great. The final two tracks are really smooth as well. Just so many good things to say about this album. I could probably go even further into detail with all these tracks, but I think when they're produced so well, he's a great performer, he's a great singer, he's a good songwriter. Like, he's got it all. He's got all of it, and I think it's one of those albums that you just listen to and you can hear the quality without having someone like me tell you what's so good about it. Yeah, just an easy 8.5 out of 10. This is great, so replayable too. I keep going back to this. I think by the end of the year, I don't think it's gonna, you know, wane on me or anything like that. I don't think it's gonna lose its quality. I think it's gonna grow to be one of the best albums of the year. And I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do too. Would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Ooh, a bit warm. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts. Would love to see people get onto this album and love it as much as I do. If you don't like it that much, let me know as well. Just tell me what you think. Thank you. Subscribe if you have not already. Do have a good day and goodbye.